The Wolf Among Us holds a special place in my heart. It was one of the first decision-based games I'd ever been exposed to, and along with Tales from the Borderlands and Walking Dead Season 1, brought my attention to a small studio called TellTale. TellTale is one of those studios that genuinely makes you frustrated, not due to incompetence like other game developers who purposely release broken and unfinished games that genuinely makes you wonder what Rockstar was smoking for them to think this shit was worth anything more than £8, but somehow cost 60 on release. No, TellTale is frustrating in a completely different way, because you know they're capable of creating incredible games with gripping stories, interesting characters, and gameplay, topped off with some of the most charming graphics you'll ever see. Quick side tangent, can we get more games that look like this? Can we stop with this trend of making games look so much like real life? Like, why would you want your escapist media to look, sound, and reflect everything about real life? You do know there are other ways to make a game realistic, like its writing, characters, tone, themes. A game's maturity shouldn't be based on how realistic looking it is. The sudden uptick in game developers dumping so much money and resources into making their games look and feel more realistic can be attributed to what gamers perceive as good content, in that gamers nowadays base the quality of new releases solely on how impressive their graphics are, which makes more studios buy into this philosophy that better graphics equals more money equals better game, and the cycle continues. But with that side tangent aside, let's get back to TellTale. Again, TellTale is a very talented studio and could have made millions creating tight, narratively driven, decision-based games. The amount of IPs that TellTale could have adapted are virtually endless, which is ironic as that was ultimately their initial downfall, as with the overwhelming exposure on the studio due to the financial success of their games essentially opened the floodgates for more video game adaptations. That's it, by the way. Not good, not interesting, not creative, just more. I'm not going to get into why TellTale went out of business, as you most likely already watched thousands of other YouTube videos breaking down TellTale's inevitable shutdown, so I won't waste your time with the details.
We released some of our best content this year and received a tremendous amount of positive feedback, but ultimately that did not translate to sales. I think that's probably the most critical point in this statement. It just hurts, bro. Like, I made this video prior. I recorded a video last night talking about this, and I feel like I was a lot more sympathetic towards TellTale, but business is business at the end of the day. And I'm assuming that they didn't do business well. There's a lot of stories about how workers were working overtime, ridiculous amount of hours with no compensation. People were putting their blood, sweat, and tears into trying to meet these crazy deadlines that they put out. It just sucks, because, like, I think we've been waiting 6 years to figure out what happens to Clementine. I'd rather her die, bruh, and AJ just live, than to have it end like this.
What happened to the TellTales Game of Thrones series? Well, TellTale makes shit games now. I don't know what the fuck happened to them, but they're not interesting. I don't want to play them anymore. I'm so done with them. That's a bit mean to say, but it just seems like, what, they're just doing IP stuff now? Like, that's all they care about? I mean, I guess technically they've always done it. Never mind, ignore that statement. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know, I'm really disappointed. I guess I'm just disappointed, and that's why I'm angry. Because they used to be so great.
Thank you for tuning in live on this special news report. TellTale Games is shutting down. They made a statement saying a small group of 25 employees staying on to fulfill the company's obligations to its board and partners. TellTale Games, of course, made such popular games like The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, and this means a layoff of 225 people. That's a lot of people.
But to cut a long story short, due to the growing popularity of TellTale thanks to their previous games, this caused them to just keep making more game adaptations for franchises regardless of whether they were good or not, which in turn caused them to stretch their resources incredibly thin, with multiple teams working on various projects with not enough time or money to make the games the best they probably could have been, resulting in the studio's inevitable shutdown in mid-2018. During this time, the final season of The Walking Dead was being released, but due to current events, the season looked like it wasn't going to be completed until Skybound Entertainment, founded by the original creator of The Walking Dead comic, Robert Kirkman, who with the resources of Skybound helped to complete the season, essentially bringing TellTale back from the dead, and with that all their cancelled projects, one of them being The Wolf Among Us 2. See, The Wolf Among Us is a weird game in TellTale's biography. It was one of the games that TellTale had made that wasn't necessarily bad, but wasn't particularly great either. The Wolf Among Us, like every other game, you know that even though TellTale prides themselves on creating choice-based games, their games aren't really based on choice. This is what we call the illusion of choice, seemingly presenting you with a vast amount of options, but really no actual choice with impactful repercussions.
TellTale games in particular, they kind of let you say what you want to say and do what you want to do, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, you can say all this dialogue on the screen right now, and you know, it's cool, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. For example, if I say this dialogue option, this happens. It's not my problem. You're the one risking your entire family getting shipped off. It's completely irresponsible, Toad. Big, please. That's a black light. All this will be taken care of as soon as the witches are available to cast the spell. Whatever it costs, it's worth it. You don't want me catching you out of glamour again. Fucking hell! See? This is what I told you about, Sheriff. And then if I do this dialogue option, this happens. I don't make the rules. Sorry. I can't give you a free pass on this, Toad. My hands are tied. Right. There's too much at stake. Whatever it costs, it's worth it. You don't want me catching you out of glamour again. Fucking hell! See? This is what I told you about, Sheriff. See what happened there? It all kind of just went back to one point. It keeps going. The story keeps playing out the same. Even though you do one option, like it's a branch, you know? Like here's the first option, here's the second, and it goes back and connects, and it keeps going.
Aside from no real impactful choices, The Wolf Among Us consists of just walking around, clicking on objects to find clues to piece together the overarching mystery happening in Fabletown, with some action set pieces accompanied by some quick time events to add some form of player input. I'm not going to get into the story, but if you want to know what happens in the plot, I'll leave a link in the description to a story synopsis. So you might be wondering, why am I even talking about a game I don't even seem to like? But even with all these somewhat terrible elements, like most Telltale games, the one aspect that brings all the weakest elements together is the writing. It's excellent. The story is based off the original comic of the same name, of a detective Bigby Wolf having to solve the murder of a fable when the head of a dead prostitute is left on the doorstep of his workplace. The character of Bigby Wolf is such an interesting one. Aside from looking like a legend and being a loner type of recluse, as the game plays out, becomes quite a compelling and incredibly likable character. And even with a lackluster gameplay and kind of redundant player choices, more than carries the game for me. Just seeing the way he takes in information, pieces clues and evidence together, and communicates with people in order to get the information he wants is just amazing in my opinion. See how I said the way he talks to other characters? He talks to them like people, not victims, not culprits, not suspects, just people, with a twinge of Big B persuasion to go along with it. So when The Wolf Among Us was slated to be getting a sequel, I was more than excited. I've never been hyped for a game as much as The Wolf Among Us 2 since the sequel to my favorite game of all time, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, and that game was complete dog shit. To say the least, I was excited, but come the shutdown of Telltale, the game seemed to just be another cancelled project. Until, on the 13th of December 2019, the announcement trailer for The Wolf Among Us 2 was released.
Brutal. A monster. And I'm proud of you for changing all that, but I'm here to ask you to be those things once more. For them. For me. Can I count on you? Bigby, can I count on you?
Always.
My hopes were officially high. The small bit we saw looked good, the art style and visuals all looked solid, but there was no release date and no further information on what the game was actually about. Until February the 2nd, 2022, the second trailer dropped for The Wolf Among Us 2.
Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars, nigga!
You're listed here as a private investigator. What does that sort of work entail?
Depends on the night. Most nights, it's watching, waiting for a slip-up. I don't know, someone gets greedy, someone gets brave.
And that's what you were doing the night of the incident.
Yeah. Took me weeks to track them down. They hadn't cast so much as a shadow. Till that night.
You've been hesitant to share with us. I assume it has something to do with confidentiality associated with the job.
Something like that.
Your boss, Miss White, said things didn't go as planned. She mentioned that there was some violence? In the moments when you find yourself losing control. How does the anger manifest itself?
This trailer was excellent. It immediately establishes the tone, striking visuals with a beautiful color scheme, beautiful animations, and surprisingly well integrated character designs for a game being developed in Unreal Engine. It was one of my big concerns that the art style of previous games wouldn't fit into the new graphical style they were going for. I genuinely pray for the days of The Walking Dead Season 2 art style, but this seems to be a nice compromise between the old and the new. Overall, the trailer was really good in showing us what to expect with the sequel. New characters, better visuals, greater scale, and hopefully a better story. Telltale seemed to be getting their groove back. After the praise of The Walking Dead Season 4 ending and their spontaneous revival, things seem to be looking up for The Wolf Among Us 2. Until the 1st of March 2023, a post was made to the official Telltale Instagram page announcing that The Wolf Among Us 2 was being delayed from its original release in 2023 to 2024.
They said, gonna be breathing out of both nostrils this season.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's fucked up what they be doing to y'all. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I be saying that's fucked up, like, bro. You probably had the full washing set. Your shit be fire probably if they ain't cut your shit. Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
I'm a bit sad. Actually, I'm lying. I'm quite devastated.
I immediately started crying upon reading this, as The Wolf Among Us 2 was one of the only games that I was genuinely excited for. So to hear that it was going to be delayed so close to its initial release date really did take the wind out of my sails. But overall, this delay is a good thing, as to bring up the point I made from earlier, so many developers rush out their games due to terrible management, and as a result release half-baked and broken products that, no matter how well respected the studio is, brings down their reputation drastically and creates a lot of ill will between the audience and the developers. So to have Telltale release a statement that they would be delaying The Wolf Among Us 2 to make sure that the game releases in the best state it possibly can, and to avoid crunch within the studio, does deserve a great deal of respect. Although, before I end this video, I would like to make a small wish list of things I would like to see in The Wolf Among Us 2. Make the decisions actually matter. This is essentially a given, but I still think it needs to be said. Have the decisions actually matter, not just by affecting the character's perception of you, but the narrative and world around you. Make the side characters more involved in the story. One of the things that held the first game back was the lack of side characters actually affecting the narrative, making their own decisions that may or may not be in favor of your best interest. Like Beauty and the Beast, they really didn't add anything to the story other than through scripted story beats of which the player would already run into due to how linear Telltale games are. Better gameplay. Up until The Walking Dead Season 4, Telltale games consisted of just walking around, clicking on items that trigger cutscenes 90% of the time. This makes sense due to Telltale specializing in the point-and-click adventure genre, given that Telltale was founded by ex-LucasArts employees, of which heavily focused on making point-and-click adventure games like Monkey Island. But still, it'd be nice to see a variety of gameplay this time around. Maybe a new version of combat for Bigby in and out of his wolf form, or just some simple shooting mechanics, or golf, or I don't know, something to break up the continuous fucking walking. Expand upon the universe. We only saw a small part of the world the first time around. It would be nice to get more than just full locations. Maybe we'll see the farm where all the fables go who can't afford any glamour.
But then if he's some ugly ass, broke, fat, short nigga.
Nah, that's it. If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. You know, sorry for the literal, 2-year hiatus that I took from making videos, but I do have a valid reason for it, but I'll most likely get into that when I make a developer's commentary for this video. But yeah, sorry for 2 years of just making no videos whatsoever, but I was kind of just, in a rut, and I didn't feel like making any video whatsoever, so I just didn't. I would rather not make a video that is like, subpar, or just boring, or just garbage for the sake of uploading, then, you know what I mean? Like, sorry, what? I messed it up. I'd rather, like, make a video, or no, I'd rather take my time, literally take years off of YouTube to, make a video, that's actually good, or I think that is good, than make a video that I have to kind of rush out because I want to, like, keep on posting. You know what I mean? I'd rather take the time off than to come back and, like, do some, shit that is not really up to my own personal standards. So that's why I kind of took a 2-year hiatus. You could say that's a bit too long, but for me it was kind of necessary. I've been wanting to make this video ever since, I want to say, like, since the trailer, the original release trailer was got done, but I kind of, like, I could say that, but, like, I feel like I really wanted to make this video when the game got delayed, because, again, I did mean what I said in the video, and that The Wolf Among Us 2, even though I don't have, like, a platform to play it on, like, my PlayStation's broken, I don't have a PC to play on. So, but yeah, I was still hyped for the game regardless. I really wanted to play this game. So when it got delayed, I was like, oh shit. I was like, shit, man, what the I was like, I was kind of upset. I was kind of upset. I was really upset. I was like, oh my god, because I don't have any games to play really. Like, the only games I play now are like the ones on my Xbox like 360. I literally went to London like let's say a week ago, just so I could like buy games, you know, for other stuff too, but I bought games as well, just so I could. That's the only games I play, Xbox 360 games. So I was like, you know, because this year's kind of dry, to be honest, when it comes to games. Even if it was like moist, I still wouldn't buy any games. I don't have any money, you know, I'm broke. That's why I do YouTube. That's why I'm trying to do YouTube. But yeah, I wanted to make this video for like the longest time, but I just couldn't because again, I'll get into that in the most likely the developer's commentary. But to put quite a long story short, my phone essentially just stopped working. My editing software stopped working, so I just couldn't make any videos whatsoever. So I just, you know, again, this video was like a project, a thing in the making is essentially what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I just didn't have the time to make anything, so I just didn't. But and just a myriad of other things. I'll get into the developer's commentary, so if you want to see that, you know, make sure to, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm most likely put in the comments, like, if you want to see the developer's commentary. I'll figure out a way, you know. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other things to say. Fucking hell. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do make sure to like and subscribe. I know you've heard that from like literally every other YouTuber telling you to subscribe to their mediocre channel with their mediocre videos, just with their mediocre opinions. But please, I beg you, if you genuinely did enjoy this video and you want to see other videos like this, not specifically on The Wolf Among Us or gaming in general, but just commentary videos of any kind of, you know, my recording stopped, sorry about that. But yeah, I did mean what I said. If you want to, you know, see videos like this of any kind, then please do leave a like and subscribe, because again, I want to make I want to at least reach, you know, not 10k subscribers, but I want to reach 10k subscribers by at least the end of the year. So if it is possible, could you please like and subscribe? I sound like I'm begging, because I literally am. Yeah, I'm broke. I ain't got no fucking money. I'm broke. I can't eat. I can't fucking eat, bro. I'm literally broke as shit. So if you could do me the favor, leave a like and subscribe, and if you want to, you know, leave a comment of what you think of the video. Genuinely do give me criticisms, because this is the first time I've ever made a commentary video, like a proper one, not like the other videos that I made on my channel where like I'm just rambling like now, but like, you know, an actual video that's scripted, broke it down into parts, you know, try to, you know, apply some, you know, basic pace into a video and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, do leave me some criticism in the comments of your thoughts on, you know, what I'm talking about, the editing, you know, the visuals, you know, all that stuff, things that like, you know, might have been shit, things that might have been good, whatever it is. Because, you know, I do want to, you know, make this into an actual thing that I can live off of, you know, doing YouTube to a certain extent. So yeah, please, you know, if you enjoyed the video, do all those things. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to plug, but no, not really. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, that's really it. You know, thank you for, you know, if you've been a fan of the channel, you know, waiting 2 years for another upload, and if you're new to this channel, thank you for watching the video and, you know, giving me a chance. And if you could do me a solid and, you know, subscribe, that would be also amazing. Again, I'm broke, I can't eat, just subscribe. But yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, that's it. Have a nice day. Bye.